Welcome back to Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Lily, here to talk to you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, what are we talking about today? Well, in the last video, I forgot to mention what we would be talking about, even though I actually knew at that point what we would be. On the channel, we talk mainly about comics. It's like the one thing I really love to talk about. We talk some about cartoons, especially if you consider anime cartoons, or at least if you feel it falls into that category, so it counts. Yes. But we really don't talk a lot about other awesome nerd shit. And that's my fault. You know, I get pretty focused, and it's just not prevalent, I guess, in the channel. And we're going to try to change that, or at least we're going to make at least one video and call it cool. Like, we're going to pat ourselves pretty hard on the back for this. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about Series 11 of Doctor Who, with the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. We're going to talk a little bit about the season as it stands thus far. My feelings on the Doctor, the series, and the new Friends, because that's a whole other thing that we'll talk about. But there's only 4 episodes so far this season. There's going to be more coming up. But I figured if I wait until the end of the series to talk about it, I'll have too much to talk about. So maybe we'll do a recap at the end. Who knows? And as you see, we're still trying out the new look. The look to kind of give me some kind of a semblance for every episode, the Spider-Gwen hoodie, which I've had for a while, as mentioned, and I love immensely. But let's get into it. Doctor Who! Pull out your Sonics and let's get going. I mean, alright, that's a whole other thing, too. So, how do I feel about the 13th Doctor and the series thus far? Well, there's only 4 episodes, so there's not a lot to go on. The season thus far has been pretty good, you know? I'm not going to say it's my favorite series so far, but it definitely has a whole lot of potential. Definitely feeling the monster of the week sort of thing that was promised to us at the beginning by the showrunner, instead of a big oversweeping arc. So a lot of people keep trying to go, oh, how will this tie in later? How will this tie in later? But because we're so used to like big arcs, so every little thing gets picked apart and looked at like, how is this going to tie in later? When will this show up? When will this come back? And so I'm just trying to personally enjoy it as every episode is its own standalone thing, and maybe a few people will tie back in eventually, but otherwise, everything's standalone. For example, Yaz's family. We'll talk a little bit about Yaz. They'll probably show up again later down the line in the series. The business owner guy, whatever his name was, I don't know. They never really quite said. He was like the hotel owner guy with all his properties and businesses. He probably won't show back up in the series. He's not important. Or he's not so not important. Anyway, he's probably a one-off. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this series so far, is like I'm not trying to pick apart and look for, oh, how will this... I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to enjoy each episode for what it is and such. Although, I will say that the first monster, Tim Shaw, of whatever that race was called, I forget, they were mentioned in the very next episode, so maybe we're going to have a little bit to do with them sort of later down the line, especially since the Doctor defeated Tim Shaw, and we'll see how that goes. How Jodie is, though, even though I'm like, hey, this isn't my favorite series or season of Doctor Who that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. Like, I've seen all the new stuff at least. Old Who, classic Who, it's kind of hard to, like, get into, so I'm trying, but I make no promises that I'll ever actually watch it. I at least enjoy it in some form, so that's got to count for something, right? We'll see. So, sorry. Anyway, even though I feel like this isn't necessarily my favorite series, Jodie is killing it as the Doctor. Her Doctor is full of just like this. I mean, all doctors are full of, you know, a certain kind of energy, but Jodie really brings like this like sense of wonderism. I don't even know if that's a word, but like this fanciful feeling to the Doctor, which is kind of reminiscent a little bit of Matt Smith, who is actually my favorite Doctor. Like, I love all the Doctors that I've seen thus far. Matt Smith's my favorite, so there's that. I know. Why not Tennant? I don't know. I like Tennant. I like Matt better. That's just what it is. Oh, that felt good. Sorry for that. Yeah, but Jodie is just like, she's got like this energy, and you can really tell that that her Doctor is still getting her legs, still figuring out who she is as the Doctor and what that means. And I think that that's in and of itself is an exciting journey to go with her on, more or less. So yeah, I really like that. I like Jodie's Doctor a whole lot because, on the one hand, I do like the fact that she's a woman now. Sorry, you got me. I do enjoy that fact. I would have been fine if she would have been a guy too, because it's Doctor Who and it's what I would have expected anyway. So it's just an extra treat. Like, don't hate me. Don't hate me. I really, really appreciate that whole thing. I really, like, I'm not sure how to describe, like, my love for Jodie as the Doctor, because she is just really doing just an amazing and fantastical job as the Doctor, and, like, conveying that sense of wonderment. Wonderment's probably a better word than whatever I used before. And that the Doctor, I feel, is supposed to have. Now, Capaldi was great. I'm not saying he wasn't. He's not my least favorite Doctor. Like, you know, it kind of goes Smith, Eccleston, Tennant, Capaldi. So I guess in a way he sort of is. But it's not it's not that I don't love him. I just don't like him as much. His Doctor was very, like, some of the exploration and wonderment was still there, but it was kind of overshadowed by his amazing, like, overwhelming performance, I guess is how I would put that. Like, there's, like, a harshness to his Doctor. His Doctor's still kind, but there's a harshness, and I feel like that overshadowed a lot of that sense of wonder. So, that's how I feel about the Doctors currently as they stand. But like I said, we'll see how it goes, see how it keeps going. Because like I said, we're only 4 episodes in to this, and I just think that she's doing a really good job of being the Doctor, like, whatever that means. And I guess being the Doctor is bringing whatever you want, being whatever you want to be, because you're bringing your own spin into it. But I think her spin is just so flowing and connecting to the character as it's already been established that it's really, really working. Another thing that's different about this series that I actually like is that they're not called companions anymore. They're called friends. And I really, really enjoy that. In that it brings them up to a different level than the word companion does. Because companion implies that they're beneath the Doctor in every regard, always and forever. Like, that's not necessarily, like, what was meant to be going with, because obviously the Doctor is smarter and more capable, because the Doctor has thousands of years of experience over everybody, so of course you default to the Doctor on what should we do in this situation, etc., blah, blah, blah. Like, so that's natural, and I'm not knocking that in any kind of way, but calling them friends brings them kind of closer to the Doctor, and, like, gives, like, because the companions have always been friends of the Doctor, right? It's just like, it feels like it's breaking down a barrier, and I really appreciate it. Also, what I'm really enjoying about the series is how the friends all have something to do. It's not them standing around going, "What should we do, Doctor?" and then watching the Doctor do literally everything. It's everybody's coming up with ideas, and they're working together towards one goal, and it's getting achieved pretty neat. Pretty nicely, I would say. It just works. I really enjoy watching the team aspect in comparison to necessarily the Doctor doing everything kind of by themselves. Yes, the companions before would definitely help the Doctor and definitely work towards the endeavors, but it was like 20% companion, 80% Doctor, and that's how the plans worked. And it's not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I just like this whole group effort thing that they're trying to go for this season. Even when she officially invites them onto the TARDIS to travel with her, of course, they asked to go with, and they all pull the lever together. Like, that's really cool. That happened in the latest episode, Arachnids in the UK, which, look, I'm terrified of spiders. Like, that episode was, like, gross in a lot of ways, and I felt things crawling on me. Like, nothing was, but it's just like a, mental, psychosomatic sort of feeling of things just being on me because, I'm watching spiders on screen. But even I felt sorry for the giant spider at the end. So, I say that Doctor Who's doing something right in that regards. Sorry. So that's nice. So, but at the end, after they, say they want to travel with the Doctor, they all pulled the lever together to see where they go, or the lever, whatever you want to call it. And something I also really liked about that scene is that I've never seen the Doctor warn the companions before. Like, the people that travel with the Doctor. He's just like, hey, you want to come on? Let's go. Let's go. It's really interesting that Jodie's Doctor is like, it's going to be dangerous. I can't guarantee your safety. You could die, and you're not going to come back the same people that you were. Like, this is going to change you, and you need to know that before you sign up for it. So I do definitely appreciate that whole, like, hey, here's the contract. Like, if you do this, you need to understand that shit's gonna happen, and I'm not necessarily going to be able to fix it, and that's gotta be okay with you. You gotta go into this understanding that bad things could happen, because lots of bad things have happened to companions in the past. I really like Clara's send-off, to be honest, but that's neither here nor there. So I do enjoy that. Things I would like to see for the new series. I don't dislike the Monster of the Week feel. It's definitely trying to find its space and with new creatures and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind a little bit of like an overarching arc, where something comes back and ties all the episodes together. That'd be kind of neat, but like in a small way. It doesn't necessarily have to be like super duper important. And I'd also like a lot more focus on the friends. Like, I especially want to know more about Yasmin and her life. Like, I am super excited about her. She's like, out of all the friends, I like her the most. Her, like, okay, I like them all. Okay, I don't want to be like, oh, but I really hate this guy. If I had to rank them, it goes Yasmin, Graham, Ryan. But Ryan's going through a lot, and Graham is too. But Ryan's going through like a different sort of a lot. And so I can't wait to actually see how that develops his character. I really hope for good things for Graham, but I'm super excited to learn more about Yasmin and her life and her family, and how this trip is going through time and space is going to affect her, because it's going to be really interesting. I think her character is the one to look out for. Personally, that's my feelings on that. I really hope that all of them survive. Like, I have a weird feeling that we're going to say goodbye to Graham before we say goodbye to the other two. And I don't know if that's going to be a natural, this is my stop sort of thing, or if it's going to be like a death. But I have a feeling that he's going to leave first. In some way. So, yeah. What else? Oh, I would like the return of some of the monsters that we're used to. Not that the spiders weren't bad. Not that the time-traveling racist, well, I mean, he was bad, but in a different way. Like, he was still a good evil driving force. Like, so that was fine. But, like, I like the Daleks. Okay? I want to see Jodie handle some Daleks. I would like to see Jodie handle some Cybermen. I don't necessarily want the Weeping Angels or the Silence to return. They've kind of had their thing, and I feel like every time we see the Weeping Angels, they get a little less scary, which is also kind of a good thing, but yeah. So there's that. But I would like to see some of the classic Doctor Who villains, monsters, sort of make a return. I certainly hope that River Song is somewhere in this series or next series. I just want her to interact with Jodie, you know what I mean? So that's all I want. It would be neat, in my opinion, if they ran into Clara and her time-traveling, world-traveling restaurant that she's made for herself out of another TARDIS. I think that would be neat, for sure. But, what do you all think? What are you hoping for from the series? What do you think so far about it? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I don't get a lot of views, but hey, maybe I will for this one because we're talking about something super popular like Doctor Who. I don't know. I really love the Doctor. And so, even if it doesn't get any views, I'm glad I made it. So, let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I never say that, but do it. Anyway, I'm Fire Princess Lily. This has been Fire Princess Reviews. And what are we talking about next time? Next time, we're going to talk about Hilda. It's a cute cartoon on Netflix that you should be checking out. But until then, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!